It can be done with physical exercises, breathing exercises, mantras, and other meditative practices. What really differentiates yoga from physical exercise is the inner awareness and breath control. So don't let your mind wander. Keep the awareness within you. Focus your mind on your breath and visualize the part of body you're exercising. That is what will bring maximum benefit to yoga. That is what really is yoga. Otherwise, it's just plain and simple exercise. Yoga is designed to increase energy of communication in body systems. It stimulates better immune system and body's repair mechanism. It makes you feel better. But the same set of palliative yoga exercises also has a therapeutic effect, and Dr. Rajan has innovated on a very unique yoga therapy method called measured yoga therapy, where we measure how the nadis on our fingertips are performing. And on the basis of that, we can recommend some very targeted exercises that can benefit your particular condition. So if any of you have any condition you want to talk about, you can email me or Jayashree Prakash. The email addresses are right here. Close to 1,000 people have gone through our yoga therapy program, and people with complex illnesses and side effects of medications have had substantial benefit through our yoga therapy program. Points to note about today's yoga class. First and foremost, please follow instructions to avoid any adverse reactions. Important instruction is to keep your spine straight and take support if needed. And do your practices gently without strain. If it is too much strain on the body, then it's not yoga by definition. Also, there is a limit in duration or count of specific exercises. When you have doubt, avoid the practice or seek clarification. But remember that the liability is entirely yours. Do not multitask or merge two exercises. The slower you do, the better it is for you. The other very important thing is regular discipline practice. So if you miss a day, use the video recording from our yoga channel on YouTube, Life in Yoga Rajan, where we broadcast our sessions live. Remember that yoga is not just physical exercise, it's a lot more than that, but it's not a religious practice either. So people from all religions are welcome. Yoga brings good health of mind and body, it brings inner awareness and a sense of cosmic connection. And with that, I'll welcome you all to our yoga family, and I will let Dr. Rajan start today's session. I think Dr. Rajan has not logged in yet. Oh, he's there.
I'm
Okay.
here.
He's here. He's here.
So, shall we begin? Namaste, everyone. As usual, we begin with 3 Oms. Let's take a deep breath in. If there is anybody who is new, who has not done our chakra vibrations before, please unmute and say yes. Otherwise, I will assume all of you have done it. So let's bring our awareness to the perineum, and pressing on the little finger with the thumb, we do lum. Let's take a deep breath in. Lum. Release the fingers and let's continue. Lum. Now let's bring the awareness 1 inch above the perineum, and there we do Vam, pressing on the ring finger with the thumb. Vam. 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 Release the finger and continue. Vam. Bring the awareness behind the navel, pressing on the middle finger. We do Ram. Take a deep breath in. Ram. 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 Release the fingers and continue. Ram. Last time. Ram. Bring the awareness in the middle of the chest, in between the breasts, and there we do Yam, pressing on the index finger with the thumb. Yum. Yum. Release the fingers and continue. Yum. Last time. Yum. Bring the awareness to the throat, and here we do hum, thumbs up, loose fist. Hum. 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 Release the fingers and continue. Last time. Middle of the head, we do chum, thumbs up, loose fist. Chum. 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 Release the hand and one last time. Chum. Top of the head, we do Om. Again, thumbs up, loose fist. Om. Om. Release the hand and continue. Om. Last time. Om. Now we go on to the happy face breathing, the Ujjayi Pranayama. So those of you who know it, please proceed. And if any of you like to use any wrist stimulating position, feel free to do so. But make sure the focus is only on the throat and not in the hand or anywhere else. So those of you who need instruction, with your eyes closed, bring your awareness to the throat. Specifically, bring your awareness to the bottommost part of the mouth, where you have a hole that connects into the neck. Focus on that hole. With your eyes closed, as you focus there, make a big smile. As the cheeks come out, you will find a very, very slight stretch in that throat. Focus there as you inhale and exhale in long and slow breaths, and feel like the air is rubbing along the stretch in that throat. When you inhale, it'll feel like a mild sucking sensation. And when you exhale, it'll feel like a mild reverse sucking sensation. But either case, make sure you do it with ease. Don't put in too much effort, very light effort, and do it with gentleness. Aruna Kathuria and Homai Kupala, it is not working for you. You need to be a little more relaxed and focus on the throat, and with gentle sucking sensation continue. Yes, Homa Kupala, it's working nice for you now. Continue that way. Aruna Kathuria, bring your chin slightly downward, very slightly. That's good. Feel the mild sucking sensation. Very nice. Continue. Now we go on to the respiratory mantra. Bring your awareness to the middle of the chest behind the sternum. And from there, feel a flow going upward and out of the top of the head. And that flow feels like the vibration. Haim em Haim em Let it flow. No correlation with the breath. Forget the breath, let it be in unconscious breathing, and continue Haim em Haim em Haim em Continue. Now let's go on to the spinal alignment exercise, starting with the neck. Those of you who find the intensity of keeping the hand behind the back and getting hold of the elbows useful, you can do that. And those of you who find it too much of too intense, you don't need to do that. It's your choice. So from whichever position you like, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, gently tilt the head and bring your one ear towards the shoulder. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, go towards the other shoulder. Inhale, come back up, and continue. Last exhalation. Inhale, come back up, and as you exhale, turn the head and look over one shoulder. Inhale, come back. Exhale, look over the other shoulder. Inhale, come back, and continue as usual. Last exhalation. Inhale, come back up. And then with the next inhalation, lift up the chin and take the head back. Exhale, bring the chin down towards the chest. Last inhalation and last exhalation. As the chin comes down to the chest, release the hand and we do 360-degree rotation around the neck. Inhale, half a circle, and exhale, complete the circle. Last inhalation and last exhalation. And we go in the reverse circle. Continue again. Inhale and exhale and go in the opposite direction. Now, last inhalation and last exhalation. And then we go on to the shoulder exercise. Inhale, lift up one shoulder, exhale, rotate it back and bring it down. Inhale, lift up the other shoulder, exhale, rotate it back and bring it down. Continue. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Now, raise the hands up and stretch it forward, palm facing the floor. Inhale, lift up the palms and stretch out the fingers. Exhale, thumb in, make a downward facing fist. Inhale and exhale. Last exhale, hold the fist and go around the wrist. Inhale and exhale. Last inhale and exhale, and let's go reverse. Last inhale and last exhale. Now elbows in line with the chest with a loose fist under the chin. As you inhale, go around the wrist, open out the palms, and exhale, come down, make the wrist again. Inhale and exhale. Continue. Last inhale and exhale. Let's go reverse. Last inhale and exhale. Interlock the fingers and bring it behind the head. And as you exhale, turn all the way to one side, pulling back the shoulder. Inhale, come in to the starting position. Exhale, pull the shoulder the other way and turn. Inhale, come back and continue. Last exhalation turn. Inhale, come back. Get hold of the elbows behind the head. And as you exhale, pull. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, pull the other way. Inhale, come back up and continue. Last exhalation, pull. Inhale, release. Now bring the hands behind the back. Get hold of the elbows or wherever you can reach. Take a deep breath in. Pull back the shoulders and expand the chest. And as you exhale, twist the entire spine and look to one side. Inhale, come back. Exhale, twist the entire spine the other way. Inhale, come back and continue. Last exhalation. Inhale, come back. Now, let's lift both the shoulders together. Inhale, lift up both the shoulders. Exhale, rotate it and bring it back. As you lift up, feel the lift up from the hip upward. Last inhalation, exhalation. Now let's do one variety of this variation. Bring the fingers right to the top of your shoulders. Inhale, curve in the elbows and lift it up, and exhale, bring it down. Inhale and exhale. Last inhale and exhale. Now let's get the hands to the hips, just behind the hips. And as we inhale, we push on one hand and make a backward arch. And as we exhale, we come forward. Inhale, push on the other hand and make a backward arch. And exhale, come forward. Continue. Last inhalation and last exhalation. Now let's cross one leg over the other. And as we exhale, we pull the knee and draw it in the opposite direction and invert towards you and turn the head in the opposite direction. Inhale, release, and exhale, pull and turn. Last exhalation, pull and turn. Now let's cross the other leg over. Exhale, pull and turn. Last exhalation, pull and turn. Inhale, come back. Now we will do cycling with the legs. So let's alternate legs today. Inhale, bring the knee in. Exhale, lift up the leg and stretch it down. Inhale, bring the other knee in. Exhale, stretch it down. And continue. Now last pair. Last breath, last this thing done. Now let's stand up and we will bend at the waist. Those of you who may have balance related issues, you can try to do it seated. But those of you who can stand up, bring your hands behind your back, get hold of the opposite elbows, keep the feet shoulder width apart, inside of the feet parallel to each other. Inhale, pull back the shoulders, expand the chest, and lift up the head and take it all the way back. And as you exhale, push the butt out and lean forward, keeping the chin up. Don't let the chin drop. And stay there. And keep the shoulder pulled back and chin up. So this way you're only bending from the hip, and you will feel the stretch right from the bottom of the feet right up to the hip. Inhale and exhale and stay there. Inhale and slowly come up and take your seat. And we will go on to the alternate nostril breathing. Just as a reminder for everyone, today is the longer session where we do the spinal mantra. And also today is our discussion, philosophy and spirituality discussion. And today's topic from 7 to 7:30 is Tantra Yoga. Okay, so let's go on to the alternate nostril breathing, Anlangalum Pranayama. Just sense how much air is coming out of each nostril. If you find it, if it is approximately equal, bring your awareness to the middle of the brain behind the forehead. And as you inhale, visualize the breath going, the vitality of the breath going up towards the brain, the middle of the brain. And as you exhale, feel it go into all parts of the body. Now, if you find it is not equal, then continue with the alternate nostril breathing like the way we do. When you inhale, you feel it cross over and visualize coming up to the middle of the brain. And as you exhale through the other nostrils going out that way, inhale and exhale and continue with that visualization. Check to see if both the nostrils are approximately equal, in which case you can stop the alternate nostril breathing and just focus on bringing the awareness to the middle of the brain with the inhalation and exhalation going down to all parts of the body. Excellent. So now we are ready for the spinal mantra. So the instructions will come straight from the recording. We do the 7 mantras from the feet and ankle to the knees to the lowermost part of the spine, which is in between the buttocks and the back, and then the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, the cervical spine in the neck, and then in the back of the head, in the very top, called the Shikha point. The mantra for the feet and neck are the same, that is Aim. Now let us begin from the feet and ankle with mantra Aim, moving to knees where we vibrate Shim, and move on to the base of the spine where we do Jim. Aim, Shim, 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 Jim. I'm Shim Jim, I'm Shim Jim, I'm Shim Jim, I'm Shim Jim, I'm Shim Jim. Now we move from the base of the spine to the lumbar region, then to the thoracic or the back region of the spine with Jim, Jime, Haim. So let's go. Jim, Jime, Haim. 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 Now we move from the thoracic spine to the spine and the neck to the back of the head with Haim, Aim, Om. Let's go. Haim, Aim, Om. 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 Now we do all the 7 mantras in sequence, starting from the feet and ankle. Aim, Shim, Jim, Jime, Haim, Aim, Om. 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 I'm Shim Jim Jam I'm 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 Om. I'm Shim Jim Jam Ham 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 I'm Om. I'm Shim Jim Jam, 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 I'm Om. Now let's go on to Bhastrika Pranayam. So get your hands in a suitable position, hands over the belly, or loose fists with elbows by the side of the chest. We deeply inhale and fully exhale. Let's go. 1, inhale. Exhale. 2, exhale. 3, exhale. 4, exhale. 5, exhale. 6, exhale. 7, exhale. 8, exhale. 9, exhale. 10, exhale. 11, exhale. 12, exhale. 30, exhale. 40, exhale. 50, exhale. 60, exhale. 80, exhale. That was actually 70. Now 80. Exhale. 90. Exhale. 20. Exhale. Bring down the hands. Keep the eyes closed. Observe the sensations within, if you have any. Otherwise, just keep your eyes closed. Now let's go on to the second round. Get ready. Let's go. 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Exhale. 7. Exhale. 8. Exhale. 9. Exhale. 10. Exhale. 11. Exhale. 12. Exhale. 30. Exhale. 40. Exhale. 50. Exhale. 60. Exhale. 70. Exhale. 80. Exhale. 90. Exhale. 20. Exhale. Bring down the hands. Keep the eyes closed and observe the sensations with it. Let's go on to the third round. Let's go. 1. Exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. exhale. 4, exhale. 5, exhale. 6, exhale. 7, exhale. 8, exhale. 9, exhale. 10, exhale. 11, exhale. 12, exhale. 13, exhale. 14, exhale. 15, exhale. 17, exhale. Oh, that was 15. 16, exhale. 70, exhale. 80, exhale. 90, exhale. And 20, exhale. Keep the eyes closed. Observe the sensations within or the silence within. Make sure the body is fully relaxed. If you have a back support, it's a good idea. Keep the hands in an open position, palms facing upward. You have a choice of whatever works, relaxes you the most. Both palms upward, thumbs touching each other, or both palms open, or with open and separated, you have the index finger touching the thumb. All these positions, keep it in a relaxed way on your lap. Observe the sensations settling within you after the Bhastrika. Now mentally tell yourself, I give up all ideas and concepts and I care about nothing. I let go of everything. 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 If you have a personal mantra, focus on it. If you don't have a personal mantra, use the mantra Haim Em Om, but with the visualization that it's rising from the middle of the chest and going out of the top of the head. So use the mantra Haim Em Om, and we will have Om playing in the background. Mentally affirm to yourself, may I be guided to fulfill the purpose for which I am born. And with that as the thought, become aware of your senses from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet. Whenever you feel you want to open your eyes, you can raise your hands up and bring it 6 inches in front of your eyes and look straight into the palm of your hands. So with that, we end the practice session and we go on to the Tantra Yoga discussion. This was motivated by 2 questions that came during the week. I don't know whether the people are over here or not who asked the question, but in any case, they can check the recording if they are absent. The 2 questions that came was, one is, what is all this chakra vibrations about? Why, what? And the second question that came up was, what is the meaning of moksha? How does one attain? What is this thing? And that came from Mr. Virendra Kemsara. So he's right here. So these are the 2 questions that motivated this topic of Tantra system, Tantra Yoga. So I'll give first a wide perspective, and then we will narrow down to the specific questions. So the first question is, first the broad perspective is, I have said before that there are 3 approaches to yoga practices. One is the Hatha Yoga approach, which focuses on physical cleansing, and that results in the nadis being able to communicate beyond the body. And that way, one reaches the higher connection of yoga and towards self-realization. The second approach, we have said, is from the Tantra Yoga approach, where vibrations are the focus of Tantra Yoga. There can be no vibration without energy. Only energy can create vibration. So breath and vibration go together because breath is the source of energy for us. And then the third element is the mental cleansing focus, the Bhakti Yoga approach, letting go. Now, all of these 3 approaches are practice approaches, but the philosophy about the nature of existence, why you do what, and how the final realization is, all of that comes from the philosophy expressed in the Yoga Sutras. And of course, Yoga Sutra also gives the principles of practices, but it doesn't go into specific practice, only gives the principles. Now, yoga is a complete philosophical and practice system. So also is Vedanta that Vyasamuni put together. It's a complete philosophy as well as a practice system, but the practice system is more ritual in the religious sense. But the philosophy is identical. There is no difference between yoga and that. Now there is another system called Kashmir Shaivism, and the Kashmir Shaivism is also a complete system. Now, out of the Kashmir Shaivism system, the Tantra Yoga system can be clearly seen in its completeness. And of course, those of you who have had exposure to Kashmir Shaivism, they will talk about Kashmir, the Bhairava Tantra is what they, what is the famous person who has written it? Abhinava Gupta. So the Bhairav Tantra is considered the Tantra related this thing that comes from there. Now, within these 3 complete systems, out of these complete systems, many people will draw many things out of it. Like, for example, the system of Kundalini Yoga is an incomplete system. It has been drawn as a subset of the Tantra Yoga system. So similarly, what happens is when people start spinning wheels, and from the Vedanta philosophy, they cull out, Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, Dvaita, they are all trying to break up and cull out. In fact, it's all integrated, one. So this kind of a system has resulted in various people explaining things in different ways, and a lot of it is disinformation. Now, let's go back now to the what is common in all of these systems. And of course, in Kashmir Shaivism, they have done the broadest exploration of the Nadi system and all of that. And I've explained to you before the four levels in which people are and how they can have different approaches, like the Shambhopaya. Mentally, you ask, who am I? You get all the answers because you're on that level of purity. Shaktopaya, you use mantras to cleanse the Nadi pathways, then you have the realization. Anvopaya, where you go through the ringer of life and you expend your karmas, and then in which case you become eligible for the mantras, and then of course you can connect and find for yourself. And the last is, as Kashmir Shaivism says, there will be a bunch of people for whom they have no way to attain that realization in this lifetime. That is the Anupaya. Now, irrespective of which system you follow, once you get into the nadis are at 5 levels. The highest nadi is called the Atma Nadi. That Atma Nadi contains 3 principal elements and a 4th additional element. The 3 principal elements is, it is through the Atma Nadi you develop your connectivity. So daily, when you go into sleep, when you have deep sleep, it is your Atma Nadi that connects into the cosmic intelligence. Second function of the Atma Nadi is, through that connectivity is how our program comes within, our program, what we call our karmas, our kleshas, whatever are the purpose for which we are born, all of that, that program that comes in also comes in through the Atma Nadi's connection, is how it comes within into the body. And so at any given point, how much of the bundle of karmas or kleshas, all the programs that exist within you, are directly involved with the Atma Nadi. Then the third element in the Atma Nadi is how much of awareness you have of the cosmos and the nature of existence. That is called Atma Vidya. So that is innate knowledge. You see, knowledge does not come by spiritual knowledge, or that realization of what is called Atma Vidya does not come by mental analysis. It comes from realization. That realization, how much ever you have, is the Atma Vidya. These are the 3 principal components that the Atma Nadi holds within itself. There is a 4th element, and this 4th element is the area of what we call as siddhis. That siddhis are elements that give you abilities beyond the physical body, ability to sense what is happening with other people, what you would call intuitive perceptions. And each of them for different people can manifest in different ways. In what way in all of this too is contained in the Atma Nadi. However, the Atma Nadi is only, you can think of it as the substratum of everything that happens within us. It is the base. That base, how does it interact? Higher your level of connectivity and more questions you have in your mind, you will get more and more answers. You will become wiser and wiser as you ask more, and all the answers come to you. So as you become wiser, you get all the answers, Atma Vidya begins to expand. As the Atma Vidya begins to expand and the connectivity stays good, you become less reactive to worldly situation, because you begin to realize you're only an instrument of the cosmic flow. So what happens is, as you become less reactive, reaction is what creates new programs within you that are called karmas. If you don't react to anything, there are no karmas. So the thing is, basically, as the Atma Vidya grows, you become less reactive, and in that process, the final realization and all of that occurs. You go into the zone where you go beyond rebirth and all of that, because there is no more karmas program left, and your awareness is beyond the physical world. Now, that is the zone of the Atmanadi. From the Atmanadi, if it is going to come into how you function within the body, there are two things that are going to make it happen. Without energy in the body, whatever programs that are there in the Atmanadi cannot function. And what happens is, when the programs work with the energy, at the same time, the programs that are manifesting in the body has to work relative to the interaction with the world. So the nadi that contains the or manages the energetics of the body, the physical, the electrical energy, or whatever you can call the heat production system in the body. From a medical perspective, the production of the ATP in the body is really the central nervous system, the control of the brain and the spine. But what does it do? It controls the heart rate and the breath rate, and so it works with the oxygenization, and so it decides how much energy to produce. And so the spine is considered the mukhya prana nadi. That is where the real energy is produced. Now, that energy will function with the programs. So the programs, when they function, they will also react to the external environment, how you're going to interact with the world. After all, when you're in the body, you're going to interact with the world. That nadi is called the Sushumna nadi, and that is along the middle of the body. That Sushumna nadi is actually fed or activates by two separate nadis that are described in the yoga system. One is called the Ida nadi, which is what you call it as your inner connectivity associated with the left side of the body and the right brain. And the right side is the Pingala nadi. That is the one that is that takes into account what the external environment is giving to you. So both of them feeding together makes what we call, from a modern perspective, as the gene expression, or how your programs manifest in your system. So along this Sushumna nadi, there are, that is where you have the 7 chakras. So along the Sushumna nadi, the 7 chakras that are there, according to the nature of your programs, each person will be interacting differently. Think of a person who, many of you can probably relate. When you were younger in your lifetime, during those times, it was essentially you had to make it in the world. And many of you are, first generation immigrants who have come to the US. And the time when you came to India, you couldn't bring money out of India. So here you had to earn and, take care of yourself. Then what is the nature at that time you had? I have to take care of myself. So self-interest is what? How you are working initially. So in other words, wherever you're working, you're thinking in terms of how is it going to be useful for me? How do I make more money? How do I make myself successful? So everything is about you, about yourself, the individual person. That is what is called self-centered nature. And that self-centered nature, as you grew, as you engage with society and all of that, you realized that you cared for other people also. And generally you associated with people who came from your same tradition and all of that. So you became more group-centered nature. And then as you got more and more exposed, you realize it doesn't matter whether it is a person is from your background or a different background, all of humanity is one. And then you became humanitarian oriented in your nature. And then after a while, you step, as you age, and you realize that people, your parents, have all departed, and you realize that your aging friends, some of them are gone, and you find that you have enough to take care of your physical needs, and your thinking is what is beyond. And that what is beyond thinking is where the next level of awareness comes, the questioning, what is beyond the physical world. Then, of course, you read a good book, you hear some wise views from somewhere, and you develop your own thoughts. Oh, so this is what existence is all about. That's another level with which you are. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have realized it. All it is there is some set of assumptions or thinking that you have had which satisfies you. This is what existence is all about. Then at some point in time, you say, if this is what is existence all about, how does it really matter? And you let go. And when you let go, you are still in a different level of awareness. What I have described for you is 6 of the 7 chakras. And why did I begin from the chakra of the self-centeredness? Because we have all gone through those cycles, you see, as first-generation immigrants. So when you're self-centered, you're in the Swadhisthana chakra, where we do Vam. When you are group-centered, you're in the Manipura chakra in the navel. When you are humanitarian-centered, you're in the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra. When we say, work with your heart, you share with the heart, you give with your heart, you care for others. So that is where the Anahata chakra, that is also the seat of emotion and caring. And then you come, and of course, caring for humanity as a whole. The Manipura chakra is where you care for a limited set of people. Then the Vishuddha chakra at the throat is the area of the chakra of wonderment, what is beyond. And the Ajna chakra in the middle of the head is the area of assumptions. This is what existence is all about. And you have all the answers that satisfy you, but you may not have necessarily realized it. And then the top on the head is where you say, how does it matter? What is that? Where you just let go. Now, those are the 6 chakras that I mentioned. But then the first chakra, the Muladhara Chakra, that is where we do Lam, that is the chakra of what you would call base survival. And that base survival is a person who is not actively thinking, but instinctively is seeking to survive. And so an unthinking person who is instinctively surviving, that unthinking level is where that 7th chakra, or the first chakra, the Muladhara, first of the 7, is in there. Now, from the Kundalini Yoga system, or you can actually, I should more correctly say, from the Tantra Yoga system, this is the evolution that happens. And of course, in this evolution, you are highly conditioned. And this evolution is a function of the programs that are there in the Atmanadi. How much of programs you have, the karma kleshas you have, how much of the Atma Vidya do you have, how much your connectivity is. That is what is going to determine where you're going to be. And so what happens is, now, as long as you're in the body and as long as the mind is there, depending upon the company you keep and what kind of interaction you have, you can change in different ways. And not only that, depending upon the situations you deal with, it will evoke a different kind of interaction. Now, most of you here in this senior group are people who are quite stable. You have your homes where you have been for many years. You're not looking in terms of buying another home or anything like that. But guess what? If you are going to look in terms of doing another transaction where you're looking to how to wisely invest your money, or how to, whether you're going to buy a new home, then in which case, in those transactions, you're quickly going to become, at least momentarily, self-centered. Hey, is this going to be useful for me? But on the other hand, once you have made that decision, you go back into your group-centered, humanitarian-centered, or whatever other centered view, this thing. In other words, what happens is, wherever your mind goes, that is where you are in the point along the which chakra where you are in. Each day will be different. Each moment will be different. Now, these are the 7 chakras that are there along the Sushumna Nadi, and you are moving up and down. But generally, there is one place where you are most of the time, because that is your base nature, how it has become for you. So whether in the Anahata Chakra or the throat or wherever you may be, that is where you are most of the time. But depending upon the activity, who you are interacting with, momentarily it can go in other places. When we are having this conversation, for most of you, the awareness has come to the throat now, because your curiosity to know and about the nature of existence, it is there at this time. But once this is over and you're going to have your meal, then in which case your awareness will go shift elsewhere. And wherever is your normal nature, where it is most of the time. So it is your normal nature can be wherever. So like a rubber band extends, your awareness moves up and down and wherever it goes and comes back over there. But then what happens is, once in a while in your lifetime, as your base awareness changes, it shifts from that point to another point, to another point. So a person who by nature is humanitarian, young man with Purva Janmas, everything good shape, by nature is a humanitarian, and that person gets into a Wall Street job and highly driven by bonuses and your performance. After a while, that person will become self-centered. The person might start off in the Anahata Chakra, but may get demoted down into the Swadhisthana Chakra. So the company you keep and all of that, it will modify where it goes. It will keep moving. Now, the 7 chakras completely don't tell you everything about everything. There is an 8th chakra. And this 8th chakra, of course, is something from a yoga perspective we understand. And this is called the Hrit Chakre Samvit. The Yoga Sutra, one sutra in the 3rd chapter says, Hrit Chakre Samvit. Samvit means you have complete knowledge. Where? In the Hrit Chakra. The Hrit Chakra is the hidden chakra. Now, of course, in the Vedic system, of course, in the Narayana Suktam, of course, it tells you where the Atma Chakra is. We have said this before. Adho nishtya vitasyante nabhyam paritishthati jwalamala kulam bhati vishwasyayatanam mahate. So it tells you about the chakra in the just behind the sternum, but that is not along the Sushumna Nadi. That is along the Atma Nadi. The Atma Nadi is running along the front of the body. Okay, and so of course, there is one other Vedic document which describes it very interestingly, and that is the Aruna Prashna. In the Aruna Prashna, which comes in the Taittiriya Aranyaka, it talks about how there are 7 suns in the body and the 8th hidden one, which is called Kashyapa. And Kashyapa, as you know, is the, in a Purana perspective, is the father of the Daityas and the Devas. So from the Aditi and Aditi, right? So the thing is basically, in other words, the Atma Chakra is where all the programs reside and all of that. So these are our Puranic ways of putting it. So how is the Atma Chakra reached? Now, when through these 7 chakras, you have the Vairagya Bhav, and you're sitting right on the top of the head, then at that time, when nothing matters, how does anything matter? You're in that mood and you're in that connectivity. The Sushumna Nadi meets the Atma Nadi right in the top of the head. So from there, as you stay there, slowly the awareness comes to descend into the Atma Chakra, which is towards the front of the body at the sternum. This is the point of self-realization. This is the point where you realize, this is what I am, a bundle of programs. I am only an instrument of the divine flow. So I'm here to fulfill the program. So what happens is in the Atma Chakra, you realize there is a duty when you're born to fulfill the purpose for which you are born. That is why in the Sanatan Dharma system, we say doing our Swadharma is what releases us. And having the attitude of not being attached to the fruit of the Swadharma we do. We do our this thing and we let go. So that is the state at which you are over here. Whereas here on the top of the head, you are at a state nothing matters. Whereas in the Atma Chakra, nothing matters, but yet everything matters for you to do your own duty. You do your duty, but nothing matters. You are not attached to whatever is the outcome of it. So that is the nature of the structure of this thing. So what happens is, when we do the chakra vibration, what do? Each one of us, if we get locked into the chakras, unless the chakras clear out, your connectivity into the cosmos, which is important, will not be open. And that is why we do the chakra vibration. The moment we do the chakra vibration and the pathway is clear, then we do Ujjayi Pranayama. Why do we do Ujjayi Pranayama? Because Ujjayi Pranayama increases the sensitivity of all the points of the body, connecting and sending the message to the brain effectively. And so what happens is, then after that, when we do the spinal alignment and the Bhastrika Pranayama, our energy is optimized and every part of the body is connecting well with the system, and your channel of communication is open. So when you sit in meditation, you can feel the quietness within. So this gives you a sense in terms of what all of this fits in. However, what happens? Certain partial systems that are created and unwanted stories that are created is what happens. That the Kundalini is sitting in a 3.5 or 7.5 coil right at the base of the Muladhara. And then when it activates, it goes up and it goes out of the top of the head and you have realization. That is the baloney that has been created by the Kundalini Yoga system. Everywhere there is disinformation. Now, what happens is, this in the Kundalini Yoga system, what happens is, when a person gets stuck in a chakra, but they are trying to energize and push it, what happens is, the energy will run in different places and it will create body instability. It will create pain and sensation in the body. And people will say, Kundalini Jagran ho gaya, stupidity. Okay? So what happens is, the entire system, the Tantra Yoga system with alliance from the Kashmir Shaivism system is all complete. The Vedantic system is complete. The yoga system is complete. And all the offshoots of stories that people have created are all there. And if you listen to those stories, you'll only get confused. So with that, I will stop over here as this thing. Oh, one other last question I have to answer is, what is the idea of going moksha or going beyond? Once you have fulfilled your purpose as an instrument of the divine flow, there are no more programs, and you have realized the nature of existence is beyond. Wherever your mind stays wherever your awareness stays in the last moment of your life, that is what is going to determine whether you're going to come back into the body or not. Anybody who is the highest level of saint, like Shirdi Sai Baba, coming back into another body or whatever, this Baba, that Baba, and all of these things, and the Lama system where the Lama comes back into a body to take people and all of these things, what happens? Anytime when you're leaving the body, if your awareness is above the Vishuddhi Chakra, you never come back into the body. That state is called the state of Brahmanatva. You're seeking what is beyond the body, or know what is beyond the body, beyond the physical world. So what happens is, in that state, if the person is not fully purified, if there are karma kleshas, that is why you do the ceremonies, the shraddhas and all of that. And that is how, and of course, each yogi, all of us, we do on a daily basis, we give tarpana in the midday. It is called the Brahma Yajna. We do the Yajna for the Brahma. We give so that all the souls which will not take birth, but which are hanging out there, which have not been fully dissolved, we give to that. And there is, when we do Brahma Yajna, there is no concept of giving to my ancestor or anything. It is all, everything, all the departed souls we give to. It doesn't matter whether it's a Hindu soul or a Christian soul or a Muslim soul or anything. We give to everyone. That is the nature of the Brahma Yajna, and that's why it's Sanatana Dharma. Now, on the other, once it goes above, in the last moment of your life, the last breath, if your awareness is above the throat, then in which case you don't come back into a body. And that is why, in the tradition that many of you follow, in the last moment of the life when people are there, they are all chanting the name of the Lord and giving Ganga water and all of that, so that the awareness stays above, they don't come back into the body again. Right? So the nature of what is the final state that goes? The final state is one of two states. The final state is all the programs within, including what we call as the Atma, which is only the transmitter, all of them are subtle vibrations. They are subtle elements. So all of them dissolve. What is the meaning of dissolving? As you know, matter is only a compressed manifestation of energy. This is what Einstein's formula of E is equal to mc square is telling us, right? So what happens is, even all material matter, when they dissolve, what is the meaning of it? It means they get demagnetized and there is no programmed entity within them. Think of when you have a magnetic medium on which you have stored data. If you take it near a very heavy duty magnet, all the impressions, the electrons that are embedded in there or whatever, everything gets scattered out. Once it is scattered out, the data is dissolved. That is the nature of the final state of moksha. Now, that is one state. The Yoga Sutra explains, and of course it's consistent with the Vedanta of Vyasa, is that there is another possible state when the person is completely bereft of all karma kleshas, but that person is always thinking of God that is beyond all vibrations. Remember, in the limited Tantra Yoga system, they worship Devi, the Divine Mother. But the Divine Mother is Prakriti, which is a bundle of vibration. Whereas the bundle of vibration or the bundle of energy, where does it come from? It comes from the unmanifest, which you think in terms of Shiva and Shakti, or Purusha and Prakriti. So what happens is, the unmanifest is the one beyond the manifest vibrations. So once a person is completely devoted to the unmanifest and mentally surrendered to the unmanifest, then in which case that person has no more programs, but that person, that entity can remain connected over there with the unmanifest or God over there. And so those people, those beings are considered like, you can think of it as the saint who is in heaven, or, all of those kinds of things, but they never come back into a body again. Okay, but those kinds of beings, people can invoke and feel their knowledge and all of this thing. And that is the kind of thing that saints are worshipped and things like that in different systems. So the final state is one of two. You can be the state of what is called Chana Pratiyogi. At every moment you're in yoga and connected with God, but there is no more body, everything is gone, no more rebirth. The other state is you completely dissolve, there is no entity left. Okay, so with that, I will stop. I have answered the questions about the chakra vibrations and what is the meaning of moksha and all of this. If there are any questions, please feel free to unmute and unmute.
How can we then Brahma Yajna?
Okay, can I suggest something? Please mute yourself and raise your hand by clicking on the hand over there, and we'll go one at a time. Okay, Anjana Parekh, go ahead, unmute yourself.
How can we then Brahma Yajna?
How do we do Brahma Yajna? Very simple. Mentally, you tell you about you see, those of you who have done Tarpana, what you do is you put water, or you put sometimes other things, and you offer like this, right? So when you offer like this, you offer to devas. When you offer like this, you offer to rishis. When you offer like this, you offer to, in between the thumb and this thing, you offer to departed ancestors, right? So what happens is, in the Brahma Yajna, all you do is you mentally, you can pour water if you want, but it's not the water you're offering the vibrations, the mental intent. If you can feel the vibration, you mentally offer Sarva Devan Tarpyami, Sarva Devan Tarpyami, Sarva Devan Tarpyami, Sarva Devaganan Tarpyami, Sarva Devaganan Tarpyami, Sarva Devaganan Tarpyami. The devas are taken care. Similarly, you give rishis the same thing 3 times. And then the Pitrus, the same thing 3 times. And you give it to the rishis and the Rishiganan, to Pitra and Pitraganan. And that takes care of the Brahma Yajna that is done every day at noontime. So, okay. Anjana
Can
ji,
you send the shloka written?
what is that?
Shloka written?
There is no shloka written. I have just told you what it is.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. And the thing is now, Sachidanand Gupta, you were the person who had your hand up first. Go ahead, please. Sachidanand ji, and yeah, go ahead. I don't hear you.
Okay, hold on a second.
Dr. Rajan, I have a question.
Can you hear me now?
Now I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, what I'm saying today, this was a very good explanation you did. I would like to you take another session and tell us practically how we can achieve some of it next time. I'm really very happy that you explained it very correctly, but I'm still want to learn a little bit more.
The answer is very simple. Our yoga practice that we are doing, right?
Yes.
Our yoga practice is helping everyone. And that is how this regular practice which we are doing, the satsang and the focus on the meditation, that is the path where it is leading to, right?
Yes.
Okay, then. Thank you, Ji. Now, let's go to Kiran Kanipakam. What was your question?
Namaste, Sureshji. I have a quick question regarding the chakra vibrations. Daily we do. How do you, is there any number of times we do when you holding the hand and releasing the hand? Is there any number?
Yes, we do it the number of times that is needed to clear the chakra. It may vary from day to day, depend upon the group. I connect into the group, energy, and I sense how much is needed. So I do it for the group. Each day it will vary. Yes. A question answered?
Yes, but in general, how is there any specific number?
No, there is no specific number. You do it till it is cleared. And if you are very sensitive, what happens is each chakra you do, first you'll see each time the vibration is rising higher and higher, even though you're focused only in one point. And when you feel the vibration go out of the top of the head, that's when you know the chakra is clear.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And now, Suresh Purohit, go ahead.
Yes, Dr. Rajan, I have a few questions. One is a Siddha Purush and self-realized, the same people or different?
Okay. The thing is, you see, I cannot answer that question for you with a high degree of clarity, because you see, what happens is in the yoga system, the Siddhas are considered people who are in that state who are connected at Shanaprati Yogi. Now, the thing is, commonly when people develop siddhis which are there in the Atma Chakra, they call it as Siddha Purush, people who can sense things and all of that. That is why I don't know which one you mean. So I won't seek to define something which has already been muddied with a lot of disinformation. Okay, next question, Radha Danayak.
Another question I have, one more question.
Actually, Dr. Mahajan has her hand raised for a very long time. I'll pass on my question, if it is okay with you.
That's fine. So Virendra Kemsara, what is your question?
Dr. Rajan, I had a question. I have raised my
Go ahead, ask me, Shakuntalaji.
Thank you so much. I want to, please, can you explain me what is the significance and advantage of relationship? I read that between the 5 elements of the environment and body and the 5 senses, they say the first chakra is related with the earth environment and sense of smell. And the second chakra, Swadhisthana, is related with the element of water and sense of taste. And third chakra, it is related with the fire and sense of sight. And fourth chakra is related with the element of
yes,
air.
yes, that's good enough. Your question that you're asking me is, what is the relationship with the Panchabhuta and all of this system, right?
And what is the advantage?
What's the advantage? Okay.
Thank you so much.
The first, I'm going to answer this very quickly. You see, each element does not hang by itself. Have you read the Vivek Chudamani of Shankaracharya?
No.
No.
Not.
There is a concept called Panchikarana. The concept of Panchikarana is that, you know, each element, there are 50% of it is that element, and actually 50 or 60% of it is that actually 50% is that element, and the other 4 elements are 12.5%. So even though you say it is the earth element cannot exist by itself. It also has a component of the other element. Okay, so what happens is, if you think in terms of the awareness over here, like when a person is so much earthbound, survival instinct, when the person is self-centered, so you can imagine how you can think in terms of how each of it, from the earth element to the water element to the fire element, each is becoming subtler and subtler. Now, there is another thing also that you need to realize is, in the Sankhya philosophy, it is considered a total of 24 principles by which the person is able to relate between the elements, the physical elements, and the highest. And the Sankhya philosophy, we can keep that for a discussion for another time, how from the highest, the first thing that comes is Mahat, and from the Mahat, all the what is called the 5 senses and the the 5 they call it as the properties of each of the elements and this thing. So how the 24 principles come, we'll talk about it separately. That is where the connection comes in. Okay, we'll
Thank you very much.
Keep it as separate lecture. Okay, so Virendra Khemsaraji, go ahead.
Dr. Rajan, you say cosmic connection. So connection to what?
Well, when you talk on the phone, who do you talk to?
Other person.
Yes. And so the thing is, basically, when you have the cosmic connection, who do you talk to? The creator.
It's God, right? God?
Yes.
Okay, and then see.
Just 1 second. The thing is, you see, what happens is, when you're initially connecting and you go beyond, you don't directly reach God. You're first interacting with the environment. It is like, you see, you have made a phone call to Microsoft. You don't reach Bill Gates yet. You go to the customer service and you go through different levels, right? So the level of connectivity, depending upon how high it is, only the highest reaches to God. Okay?
And then see, the thing is this: once you leave the body and you don't come back, so where do you stay? You know, where do you stay in the cosmos? You know,
you stay as vibrations. So the thing is, basically, think of it like there is a giant web server over there where you're still sitting there as a program. Okay, so let me go on to the next question. Sundara Kulkarni, go ahead.
You talked of Kashmir Shaivism. Is Vaishnavism in some way related to that? How does it explain all this?
See, the thing is, you see, Vaishnavism has 2 parts to it. One part of Vaishnavism is a concept of God as Mahavishnu. Okay? Now, whether you call God as Mahavishnu or whether you call it as Parashiva or Sadashiva makes no difference. It's only a name. You can also call God as Yahweh, or you can call as Allah or God. All of them are the same. Okay? So the thing is, so that is a religious system, Vaishnavism. Now, associated with Vaishnavism, there is the philosophy that has been derived from from Ramanujacharya and the Madhvacharya lineage,
Madhvacharya.
Govindacharya, all of them, where they have taken a derived interpretation of Vyasa's Brahma Sutras, and from there they call it as Vishishta Advaita, Dvaita, and things like that. All of those have no meaning for us because the Vedanta is one, and to split it like that is only mental, based on partial realization. People have started writing their own views and confusing the whole world. So let's move along from there. So Vaishnavism is only a religious system. Okay. So Varsha, Manoj, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Question about cosmic connection,
Yes.
we are trying hard to get a cosmic connection and awakening thing and working out with the 7 chakras and everything. How is environment help us, like Mother Nature help us?
Okay, first thing is, don't try hard. You see, the moment you relax and let go, that is when connection will happen. If you try hard, it won't happen. And that is why in yoga, everything should be done with very mild effort. And learning to be an observer most of the time, being less affected by things, that's what will happen. Now, the question you asked was, what was the question you asked again?
The Mother Nature, how does Mother Nature help us to develop ourselves?
Okay. How Mother Nature helps you is, as part of all the system, there are different vibrations created in different places. Wherever you call it as a Shakti Peeth, you have probably heard that term, which means that place has a high level of concentrated connectivity for various reasons. Okay. And so when you go to that kind of a place and stay there, Mother Nature has provided that for you as a way whereby you can be elevated in that spot. Same way, what happens is the directions and time and space, all of that matter. In fact, what happens is, in order for connectivity to work through, in the Vedic system, you have to, it is said you can never understand the Vedas without reading the 6 Veda Angas. In the 6 Veda Angas, 3 of them relate to the power of intent. 2 of them relate to the power of sound vibrations. 1 relates to the orientation of time and space. The orientation of time space, where they will say in such and such time, in such and such this thing, you have this particular yoga. If you do puja at this time, it will be more beneficial and all of that, right? So the thing is, you see, this is where the time and space element, which in the Vedanga system is called Jyotisha, that is the one that is very helpful for you from Mother Nature.
Okay. So Mother Nature is already connected with the cosmic power, right?
Exactly. Okay, now Suresh ji, go ahead.
Yes, my question is like our karmas, and karmas, according karmas, you get the phal. Now all these people dying with COVID-19, they were the same karma they did. They are dying. This mass death is there, and how those souls where this whole mass souls are going.
I don't understand your question. People
my
have to die
is,
one way or the other. You can die with COVID or you die with heart attack. What is the big deal?
No, but I mean, according karma wise, many people dying with like natural disaster. Some people dying with floods and earthquake, fire, and like Mahamari. So why all bundles of people dying at the same time? What is the cause? What is the cause of, I mean, God or nature? Why
you have already answered the question. It is the flow of the karma. So why are you asking me? Okay, next question, Meera Chopra, go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much. Very nice, informative, all you gave about today's talk. I have a question. In Sedona, Arizona,
yes,
when we go there, we get a lots of meditative vibration, peaceful.
Yes.
I don't get anywhere. I get on the beach or hill station, and Sedona is the one I want to visit every time.
Yes.
What is the reason?
Where are you located?
Actually, I am in Maryland, Bethesda, Maryland, but I visit every year, but 2 years we haven't been there because of this pandemic, because we go every year there, visit.
You know what? Next time you're going, we will all plan a trip together.
Excellent.
See, we have a base in Phoenix also.
Oh,
So
excellent.
from Phoenix, we can go over there together. But
Thank
the
you.
Sedona is one of those places where it's like a Shakti Peeth over there. Now, what happens is, if more people who go and do meditation over there, more the connectivity builds. Okay? So this is the same principle of the Kumbh Mela that happens. You see, what happens is, in South India, every temple is reconsecrated every 12 years. Because that way you can, how does Shakti evaporate? It evaporates when people go and say, I want this, I want that, and they go and do this. They take away the Shakti that is there, that is pure energy, which is for which there is nothing other than seeking to connect with God. Okay, so what happens is, in the I suppose that because of the various historical things in North India, the 4 principal temple towns, there are thousands of temples in those towns. So what happens is, the 13 mutts together, but they have their own place over there that is called the akhadas. And so they all go over there, and for that 40-day period, they do all of the havan and all of that to energize the whole town together. So the point is that if people go and meditate and do more over there, it will increase the power. And of course, what happens is, those of you who do the Sandhyavandana practice, the last practice that a person does is, after doing everything, when they get up, they put a drop of water on the seat where they sat. They put their ring finger over there and touch and say, Adhyano Deva Savita Prajavatsa Visaubhagam. They put that, and then of course they say, let me not get any bad dreams. So in effect, any vibration, any place where you do the japa, the vibration builds over there. Okay. So with that, we will close for today. We have exceeded the time by a lot, and I have answered a lot of questions. Keep your questions coming, and we will have a discussion on the Sankhya philosophy on another date, perhaps next Sunday.